How do you sing from the diaphragm? I want to talk about the diaphragm. Wanted to make a new video about it for this year, so stay tuned. I know we've talked about support a lot, and support is definitely important. I know that it's not a very tangible thing. So what is support? Where does it come from? What is your diaphragm? So your diaphragm basically is this horizontal muscle that really moves when you're inhaling your lungs, it moves down. And when you're exhaling, it moves back up. You can feel it when you're coughing, when you're laughing, or you can feel it. But what you also feel it is that it's not just this horizontal muscle, it's always like this entire. So when you you can feel it in your back. You feel that your back muscles are at work and your front muscles also on the sides. Or it's the front, the back, the sides. This is all moving. So the diaphragm is often misunderstood because it's like, where is it? The diaphragm itself is involved, but it's not the only thing. The diaphragm, however, is really important in making space for the air that gets into your lungs as you're inhaling. So your diaphragm really helps push all those soft parts in your gut a little bit out of the way so that the lungs have a little bit more space to inflate. So all those little bubbles in your lungs, they fill up with air, which means everything expands and your ribs are flexible. Your ribs consist of bones, but also very soft, movable tissue. I mean, you can press your ribs in, expand, and you can feel that they're very flexible. That's really important. If you've ever had a broken rib, which I haven't, but I know it's very painful because every time you breathe, this moves, and it's very painful then when you have like a bruised rib even. So always remember your diaphragm is only part of the equation, but what is important is that you know that it moves down. And as it moves down, lungs expand. So expanding is really the important cue here. As you expand, your belly expands, your back expands, and it doesn't matter, who tells you anything. Some teachers only tells you, okay, it's just the tummy, or some tell you, well, you need to breathe into your butt. Well, you can't breathe into your butt, but it might help you to think of breathing more deeply. But the physical thing that happens is that you're expanding all the way around. So I like to think of the diaphragm, not of this horizontal thing, but of a belt. So I have a belt that expands, but at the same time, I feel the diaphragm moving down like a syringe as you're soaking up some liquid. And then as I'm exhaling, because of course in singing, we want you to have as much control over the exhalation process as possible so that the air lasts exactly as long as we want it to last, so we don't run out of air, right? So that's really important to economize. And I think having this image of a syringe can help you not only feel the compression, when you have a syringe and you're pushing up, there is compression of whatever liquid there is. And because it's compressed, it comes out on the top, but it doesn't all come out at once because there's only a very small opening. And that small opening are your vocal cords. And because there's a small opening, you have to push harder to go against that resistance because there's this compression. So the air is pushed up, there's compression, and then there's only this small opening. And the more you have that image of that compression and the small opening, and you're pushing upward and not collapsing at the same time, the more you're going to activate all those muscles that control the air going out. And here's one important thing, is when you're thinking of a phrase and you feel like you're always running out of air, think of it more as the syringe. Just picture this image of air being pushed out, or like a liquid being pushed out, but you also have in mind how much longer you have to go. So you're seeing, okay, I got this much longer, this much longer, this much longer, this much longer. You're always kind of looking at the end, like this is when the breath is allowed to end, but not before. So economize, economize, economize. Pushing very slowly outward, but compressing Especially when you're singing high, the compression is important. And that's that horizontal muscle that condenses the air. So what about when you're taking a little break or when you're inhaling? So when you're inhaling, those muscles still are activated and it's this constant expansion and pushing outward. But as you're pushing outward, you don't want to collapse fast. You want to slowly let this belt come inward. Here's something that's really important. The amount of compression and the amount of how tight your muscles get around your support here and the diaphragm, as a matter of fact, it varies. It's very dynamic. So when I'm singing, I'm singing here, and I sing high. See, it's like very dynamic. It doesn't stay the same. And even when I'm inhaling, yeah, let go for just a second here. But at the same time, I have my basic support that always stays in place by just having my posture. So when I do this, none of those muscles are activated. Not the diaphragm and not most others. So always having that lifted posture assures that the support muscles are activated and also the diaphragm can react. So from supporting and always collapsing and then breathing in and supporting, there's a lot of restlessness and there's a lot of action, and it takes a long time. It takes a second or so to put everything into place again when you collapse all the way and you're letting go of those muscles and you're not really having this tension anymore. Now I'm at the end of my breath and now I need to have that next long phrase. I got to build all that up first. That takes time and you don't want that to happen. You want to react fast, right? So you want to da 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 da. You want to keep your support. You want to keep that posture so that it always stays activated. Thank you so much for watching today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and I hope you stick around for my next videos. Hit that bell symbol to be notified when I go live so we can have a live hangout and Q&A. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Amazing grace, how sweet